Mr. Director General, ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, allow me to greet you all and express my thanks to you for accepting our invitation and being with us this evening. I'm very glad to be here again among my friends and colleagues, and I would like to express my deep gratitude to all UNESCO staffs for their relentless efforts in preserving and developing education, culture, and science in the whole world. UNESCO is a great platform where people can build dialogue, get to know each other better, and through dialogue and knowledge to appreciate and value the cultural diversity in the world. I would like particularly to greet Director General of UNESCO, Mr. Koichiro Matsura, and thank him for his continued work and contribution to the UNESCO ideas. During last summer, Azerbaijan, together with UNESCO, held 2 high-level conferences. Mr. Director General participated in the regional conference of the Education for All program, which focused on the literacy problem in the modern world. I also thank Mr. Matsura and UNESCO for supporting our conference, the role of women in intercultural and intercivilization dialogue. I look forward to continuing our successful cooperation in the future. Dear friends, cultural heritage is the pride and glory of any nations. And among the great factors, a great numbers of factors that provided its preservation and succession from one generation to the next, a significant role is played by language and literature. At the same time, language and literature are essential in creating the independent thought. If we look at the history of our country, Azerbaijan, which has unique geopolitical location, was a part of different empires for many centuries. Despite all difficulties, we were able to keep our culture, our language and literature, our traditions and national values. This has helped us not to lose our national identity, to protect our roots and become a strong, independent country. In this respect, the role of people who dedicated all their life to serving the literature and language is invaluable. Today we celebrated the 100th anniversary of the birth of the prominent Azerbaijani writer, scientist and teacher Mir Jalal Pashayev. Being a talented writer, Mir Jalal enriched the literary treasure of Azerbaijan with his novels and short stories. As a scientist studying the literature all his life, he established the theory of 20th century Azerbaijani literature. He determined the canons and principles on which the contemporary literary science is based and continued to be developed today. As a distinguished teacher and enlightener, he strove to foster in youth an understanding that literature and language are not only the part of history and culture, but also a part of the heart and soul of each person. It is difficult to express the complexity of his personality because he combined the talent of a writer, the intellect of a scientist, and the sensitivity of a teacher. In his books, Mir Jalal expressed and explored life. He always tried to reach roots and discover the essence of life. In addition to his 6 novels, he wrote almost 300 short stories, which are the shining examples of 20th century Azerbaijani narrative literature. These stories are filled with original observation and bright images of the world he lived in. His characters are well drawn, unforgettable, and true to life. The memorable, bright vein of humor is woven into the fabric of his stories. In that time, when the literary heroes were obliged to contribute to the construction of communism, it was true literature that stood the test of time. Many years of his life, Mir Jalal dedicated to studying the heritage of a prominent poet, Mohammad Fazuli. He was the first scientist who researched and provided the scientific and theoretical interpretation of Mohammed Fizoli's creative works and masterpieces. The science named Fizuli study originated in the Mir Jalal research activities. In difficulties 30s and 40s, when the research dedicated to strengthening communist ideology was favored, Mir Jalal turned to this romantic poet for whom beauty and love were paramount. As I mentioned before, Mir Jalal was an excellent teacher. He believed in youth and saw future talented writers, scientists in his students. He always tried to develop the creative potential of each student with care and respect, and supported them in their self-realization. He believed that encouragement and focusing on the person's strengths are the best way to help him to improve. He often said to his students, "You are the best, you will succeed in everything," and he was right. Many of his students today represent the intellectual and scientific potential of Azerbaijani society. Mir Jalal was a sincere man of high moral values and deep sense of dignity. His bright personality and subtle humor always entertained everyone around him. His brilliant talent and true humanism helped him to withstand the trials and tribulations of his life and to be a support for many people. He was not a flame desiring to consume or outshine others, but rather a beacon always ready to direct and guide. This person, Mir Jalal Pashayev, is one of the most outstanding and remarkable representatives of Azerbaijani history and culture. Today, I am very proud that I represent this noble person here in such a respected organization as a member of his family, as his granddaughter. I would like to bring to your attention the fact that almost half centuries ago, in 1960, Mir Jalal, with the first ever delegation of Azerbaijani intellectuals, visited France and recorded his impressions in the publication under the title "On the Roads of France." He wrote about historical and architectural monuments of Paris, about the great cultural heritage of the France, and especially mentioned the newly constructed UNESCO building, like a new style in city architecture. So it is the same building where today we are celebrating his jubilee. Being incredibly modest man, Mir Jalal never sought glory or an honorary title. "I have my writings and students, it's enough for me," he often repeated. Today we can add, he also has a deep respect and is a bright memory in the hearts of Azerbaijani people. In conclusion, dear friends, I would like once again to express my deep appreciation to the UNESCO, its leadership. Every time I am here, I feel a very warm hospitality and enjoy the friendly atmosphere of UNESCO family. Thank you very much for this. I would like once again to thank all participants and organizers of this event. I wish you happiness and prosperity. Thank you.